Dominick Muto, the COO and CFO at Buffalo-based law firm Rupp Pfalzgraf, is going to be talking about the current risky methods that many of the law firms use to exchange and store wire information and how Rupp Pfalzgraf has changed those policies and moved forward. Dominick?
Thanks, John. Well, the bar is set quite high after Holly and Dennis. But I want to thank everyone for joining this call to discuss the growing threat that we face every day in wire fraud. I'm honored to be a panel member today. As John mentioned, I'm the CFO and COO at Rupp Pfalzgraf. We're a born and bred Western New York law firm with over 75 attorneys in 16 practice areas. And we do utilize wire transactions on a daily basis. My discussion point is going to be around how the outdated methods of law firms to collect and store wire information and making them vulnerable to risks, and how our firm, Rupp Pfalzgraf, utilizes WireVault internally. For our firm, our number one priority is protecting our clients. That's what our attorneys do every day, and we take our job and role in that position very seriously. And it starts with security of our firm assets and our client assets, along with the data associated with that. We conduct regular security audits, employee training of our attorneys and staff on a regular basis. We always make sure that we try to have best practices around our day-to-day operations, and we have disaster recovery plans and backups, and we even try to go as far as to educating our clients on how they can secure their assets as well. But realistically, it's not enough. Wire transfers were always a risk. Ever since I taken on the role as CFO 7 years ago at this firm, and I'm pleased that WireVault does have a solution. So to go back to the outdated methods that most law firms utilized, accounting is typically notified by an attorney that there will be an incoming or an outgoing wire, typically within 24 to 48 hours of the transactions. The wire instructions are then sent to the attorney or a controller within the firm via email. As Holly mentioned, email is not a secure avenue to communicate bank account information. I'll give you a quick example of where we almost fell victim to this by simply just recognizing some spelling and grammar errors within an attorney email with a colleague that we were working with on a deal. And if anyone knows, attorneys typically don't make spelling and grammar errors. So that was a quick red flag. Once we picked up the phone to call our fellow attorney on a verified phone number, we realized that his email was hacked. So thankfully, we were able to mitigate that risk. But if we didn't have the wherewithal to double check the email communication, we could have fell victim ourselves. So our old process was to receive instructions from the attorney that was emailed to them directly from the recipient of whoever's going to receive those wire instructions. The attorney would then fill out a form electronically, save it onto their computer, save it into our servers, and communicate that form to accounting. Now, there's obviously multiple breach vectors here, right? And a lot of potential for issues. One, the email that's received by the attorney could certainly be fraudulent and not be the true recipient of the wire. Two, the attorney, their paralegal, or staff member are then taking what they received for the bank account and routing information and putting it into a form that is then stored on our servers. And then lastly, accounting would receive that email with that information. And we did have a process in place that we started years ago to pick up the phone and call the recipient to verify the wire instructions were indeed correct. However, as Holly mentioned, phone verification, especially from someone in accounting who may not know the recipient, is not reliable these days. So with these multiple breach vectors, I'm obviously proud to be a part of this call and to help John and WireVault, put forth a solution that can truly transform how we transfer wires and make it more secure for our firm and others alike. So what this does for us, what are the key benefits? One of the big things that Dennis mentioned was it enhances security through multi-factor authentication. It mitigates the risk of errors and the potential for fraud on email communication of the bank account and routing number information. It also streamlined processes for our firm, which saved us time internally, which is obviously our biggest asset with our resources that we have at Rupp Falls-Graf. So at Rupp Falls-Graf, we understand that the security of our client assets are absolutely paramount. By adopting state-of-the-art technology like WireVault and continuously improving our processes, we are committed to providing the highest level of security and peace of mind for our clients, and WireVault helps us with that solution and mission.
Dominic, that was great. We actually had a quick question, and I'll just pivot here real quick because I had planned on addressing some of the questions at the end of the session. But we actually had a question come through specifically for you. How do you collaborate with clients to efficiently use WireVault?
Great question. We collaborate with them well in advance. When we know a wire transaction is going to occur, we tell them that we utilize WireVault. This is how we can get them on board rather quickly, well in advance to the transaction even happening. So we do have a small email template. We have a memo kind of detailing our process inside and out. To my surprise, actually, initially, I was worried about the pushback that our clients would give us, but clients are really happy to hear that we're securing their bank account information versus just a typical email fashion where they punch in their account information, send it over to us.